Yo family, what's going on everybody? Jimbo here, bringing you guys probably what is going to be a little bit of a shorter video. I've been getting quite a lot of questions in my streams about what kind of M4 and MP5 setups I like to run. And I thought, with the CDL opening up this past weekend, I thought this would kind of be a just kind of a good update video and to let you guys know what in my opinion are some of the best attachments in the game, what I personally run, what I love running just about every single day. So without further ado, like I said, it's probably just gonna be a little bit of a short one because you'll see I use two different MP5s and two different M4s as kind of like my comp class or my try-hard class, whatever you guys want to call it. And the MP5s are very similar and the M4s are also very similar as well. So we're not gonna try to bore you with a 15-minute video. It's gonna be pretty quick, short, and to the point. So without further ado, the first class I have here is the MP5. Now granted, y'all, this is gonna be all personal preference. Okay, you will see a lot of the times when you start messing around with weapons in this game, you can make a lot of the guns do the same things with different attachments. You can make a kilo look very similar to an M4 with a couple attachments, if you get if you get what I'm saying, right? So with saying that, there is no one go-to absolute class gun setup. I will say if you are using the MP5, what you must have 100% of the time is the 10mm rounds. Other than that, you can kind of mess with the setup. For this first class I'm going to show you guys, this is kind of my fastest ADS class, I guess you can say. You got the monolithic integral barrel. It adds a suppressor to it. Obviously it also gives you that boosted range since it is technically a monolithic suppressor, even though it's built in. You're losing a little bit of mobility, but thing with this is now you don't need a muzzle, right? It's 2-in-1. You can use one of those other weapon slots anywhere else you need it. I always run FTAC collapsible just for the ADS speed. Like I said, this is my fastest ADS class. Got the stippled grip down here, commando foregrip, and then of course you have the 10mm mags. This is a must in this game, man. The 10mm is so dang powerful, and it literally makes the MP5 the best gun in the game. So you can't go wrong with anything as long as you have the 10mm ammunition in the MP5. So that's what that looks like. This is probably my most used class, whether I'm doing GBs or just playing customs or even in just public games. This is definitely my most used weapon right here. We'll back out of here and go to the second MP5 class. Pretty much you'll see pretty much the same thing, except instead of using the monolithic barrel, we're using the monolithic suppressor by itself. Now what this does is it does add a little bit of that extra range. Obviously it has a longer barrel now. So if you find that you don't have the range with the integral barrel, you can always just throw on the monolithic suppressor. Just keep the barrel the same. And then obviously I'm rocking FTAC, commando foregrip, stippled, and still the 10mm. So really the only thing I'm changing is if I want that little extra range, that little extra accuracy, instead of the monolithic integral barrel, I'll just use the monolithic suppressor. So that's my go-to MP5 class. Like I said, you can't really go wrong unless you don't have the 10mm. Okay, I'm telling you guys, as long as you have the 10mm ammunition, feel free to play around with pretty much anything else. It's really just personal preference at that point. So with that, we'll now move on to the M4s. I have two different M4s. They're also pretty similar. You'll see like there aren't best I guess attachments to weapons in this game, but you'll notice me personally, I love fast ADS. Faster I can pull up my gun, the faster I can start shooting at people, right? So when I say that, this is kind of actually I'll back out and show the other one first, because this one that I just pulled up is something I've been experimenting with a little bit more. Literally since the beginning of the game, I've been running this setup pretty much 24/7. What I like about this M4 is I think it's a very, very, very good balance between being an AR and going from medium to long range, but still having the ADS speed. And what I say by that is I always rock the no stock on the M4. Obviously, it's just going to help ADS speed, gain that mobility that you need to kind of run around the map a little bit faster. Stipple grip is a must. I put stipple grip on literally everything. Every single firearm has stipple grip for me. And then obviously the commando foregrip. It's crazy how, in my opinion, of course, the stippled grip for me is, or not the stipple, sorry, the commando foregrip is literally like the best grip in the game. It's like almost the only one I use ever. And it's literally the first underbarrel attachment you get for pretty much every weapon, which is crazy to me. So even if you're in pubs, maybe, I don't know, 5 months in, you still have a level 1 M4. The commando is literally one of the first things you unlock, and it's the best thing in the game. So like I said, we got no stock, stippled grip for the mobility, and of course the ADS. And then we have the commando foregrip, and then the stock M16 barrel. This is going to give you kind of that range aspect, that accuracy aspect, and then obviously recoil control as well. I've been using this barrel since the beginning of time. Since this game was created, I was using the stock M16. Now, I was playing around. I do really like the Viper reflex on this M4. However, sometimes I remove this and then I will put the monolithic on. Just adds a little bit of range, especially if you like the iron sights. I like a lot of different iron sights on this game. So if you don't mind rocking the M4 iron sights and you want a suppressor to add the range and accuracy, feel free to throw the monolithic on there. I definitely do that sometimes as well. But this is kind of like my go-to class if, you know, I want to use a sight. Now, lastly, we're going to go back to the third class here. This is going to be the second M4. I recently just started messing with this one. You'll see it's pretty similar, right? Once again, no stock, stipple grip. What that does is obviously mobility and ADS speed, commando foregrip. And then this is where I change things up, right? I have no optic. This is kind of my iron sight M4 class. And I'm actually messing around with the Corvus custom barrel. There isn't a whole lot of a difference between the stock M16. You are getting a little bit of that mobility back. So that's always nice. I kind of wanted to try something a little bit more speedy, kind of maybe, I would say even shorten down the range a little bit, but you're also getting quite a bit of range there, as you can tell. The stock M16 barrel is obviously heavier. You're going to have more range with it. But all around, I'm willing to trade off a little bit of range and accuracy for more mobility. So that's why I'm trying out the Corvus. I really like it. I've played the last couple of days with it, and it's a really good barrel if you don't want to use the stock M16. And then I just have the monolithic on here as well to add back that range. So pretty much what I'm doing here is with the stock M16, you're going to have more range, less mobility, a little bit more accuracy than the Corvus. So what I'm doing is I'm taking the control and shaving off or shaving back on a little bit of mobility, if that makes sense. And then to add to the range that I would have with the stock M16, I'm just throwing the monolithic suppressor on there, man. Honestly, don't use any other suppressor but the monolithic if you're going to use one, in my opinion. All the other ones, you know, hurt range, hurt accuracy. This one, you actually gain range, gain accuracy. For just a tad, like you can see, that's just a little bit of mobility and control loss. So it's definitely worth it, in my opinion. But that's going to do it here, y'all. These are literally the 4 comp classes that I run, sweaty classes, whatever you guys want to call it. I can't say I really run a whole lot of MP5 and M4 in pubs. If I'm in pubs, I'm just kind of in there trying to have fun with different weapons and obviously experiment, like I have been with this M4 for the last little bit as well. So Hope you guys enjoyed this. I know I've gotten a ton of questions recently about you know, what my M4 setup looks like and what my MP5 setup looks like. So I thought I'd bring you guys this video. Looks like we just hit over 10 minutes. It's a little bit longer than I expected, but I wanted to be clear and I wanted to clarify why I was doing what I was doing. So with that, guys, I appreciate y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. And as always, God first, God bless, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a good one, y'all.